Hi, and welcome to the Homeopathy Health Show here on the UK Health Radio Network. I'm Atik.
And I'm Naila.
We're both professional registered homeopaths, and between us have over 25 years of professional practice in this field of healing.
The Homeopathy Health Show is the voice of homeopathy on radio and podcasts around the world, promoting and raising awareness of this truly unique system of healing and healthcare, which is suitable for all ages, young and old.
Every week we invite guests from the world of homeopathy to come and share their experiences, their work, offer insights, and essentially talk all things homeopathy.
Visit www.ukhealthradio.com to listen now. To find out more about us, you can visit us at www.homeopathyinpractice.co.uk. And whilst you are there, do subscribe to our newsletter.
Be inspired
and join the conversation.
So let's begin today's show here on the UK Health Radio Network, the world's #1 talk health radio.
Real feel-good radio.
So, for example, if you are thinking of mammals, we have a lot of subgroups. So, and you can think, okay, but this could be, for example, a mega herbivorous. And you are thinking to the elephant and the giraffe that has common themes. Or you are thinking to domestic mammals. So it's not just the division is not just the division according with zoology, but is a division also especially according with the homeopathic way of thinking.
This is so wonderful, and we must say here, you mentioned radar. So those listeners who aren't aware, Naila, do talk about radar, because this is where this module will be available.
Yes, I had a sneak peek of your module that is coming up, and I'm really excited about that coming. And then there will be free webinars as well for the homeopaths who use radar, who don't use radar, so they get accustomed to it, because everything that comes out should be handy. Everyone should be able to use it. And thank you for doing that, because sometimes as homeopaths, we know, okay, these three things we can see, but how to organize the case or which are the remedies. Sometimes we just, as you yourself have mentioned, we just know the common remedies. And then, for example, the themes of sepia, they can be seen in salmon as well. They can be seen in other fish remedies, whale. Okay, this is predator. Which predator? Big predator, small predator. Where do they live? We can actually be helped with this ECAP GPS system, and I am so looking forward to it, because I love working with teams and I love working with groups. But before going there, I do have a question. For example, if someone wants to learn more about, because you are using the homeopathic language to define your groups, rather than the biological, which other homeopaths have used. So how can they see or read through the language, water language or air language, when the patient is speaking? How can they learn more about it?
So after the book of Roberto, we understood that sometimes a short theme sentence is not enough, because people are not really understanding. So in the next evolution, in our evolution, was that we gave bigger, longer themes. So when you open our new books, you will see more detailed, more explained themes, that they will understand better what does it mean, for example, vulnerability in water environment, or protection in water environment, especially in water animals. But when you are going step by step and understand this theme of protection, that how it's opening up and widening up towards the different groups, so it's giving more important, more explanation of these, let's say, super themes or higher themes that is describing the environment. So that's why that Robbie told this ECAP part, these are more generic languages, and the GPS are more point out, more individual languages, but related to the students, that how they can understand. So when they will see the system, and especially when they will see a kind of coherence in homeopathy, they would understand that from the ECAP part, from the more generic language that the patients are telling, they can find a remedy that they never really thought in the past that it could exist, or to find it in which book, because this knowledge that how to see the homeopathy, it's giving them the opportunity to see a wider Materia Medica, a wider book of homeopathy that they can ever thought about it in the past. So this is what we are experiencing in our everyday practice, that sometimes we are prescribing remedies that we never knew that it can exist or it could exist. And then we had clinical confirmation, not just from one patient that we described at first time, but later on several ones that acted brilliantly on the constitutional and also the acute level for that remedy. We are listing the 8 themes. We are giving the 8 importance to that remedy, that how you have to see that remedy through our lens, through our experience, and also combined together with the proving.
Yeah, because we are building the information that we are placing in our books. We are building, reading the provings, reading the Materia Medica, reading the cases of what we think are trustable homeopaths, and especially through our personal experience. And is for this reason that, for example, you can develop a team. Vicky was speaking about protection. So protection is a very important theme in water invertebrates. But if you are going through the subgroups, so the porifera, the echinoderms, the crustaceans, the mollusk, and so on, you are seeing that this theme of protection is developed in a different way. There is always the protection, but the protection of the cnidarians is different from the protection of the cephalopoda. So this is important that you can refine the language, because protection is also in aquatic plants, but is a different way of thinking of protection. On the other side is the same. I mean, when you are checking a rubric, I don't know, sympathetism. So the sympathetism of phosphorus is different from the sympathetism of causticum. It's just that we are placing 2 remedies in the same symptom. But also related to themes, you can have the same theme. For example, aggressiveness, you can have in the polar bear and in limenitis or other butterflies. But the theme of aggressiveness is not being aggressive, because that is the predator attitude. So the theme of aggressiveness is that your remedy has something to do in a special way with aggressiveness. So perhaps you are very aggressive, or perhaps you are very sensitive to aggressiveness. So for this reason, that when we are speaking about aggressiveness in the animal kingdom, we cannot think that the animal remedies are all aggressive. We have to understand that these remedies has to deal with aggressiveness or with the idea of surviving. But the surviving is not just I have to kill someone else. Sometimes the surviving is I don't want to be killed. So the theme is not the symptom. This is very important to understand.
I think as you were as you were talking about this, it's very eloquently put, I have to say, by both of yourselves, how you've explained this. But we're looking at the way you've spoken about aggressiveness and survival and protection is, these are, in the animal kingdom, certainly, it's a computer program, because they're programmed to act a certain way, they're programmed to do so. So it's like a computer program. there's no thought process as such, because a tiger has to kill. If it runs, if the prey runs, they'll kill it. If it's still, they won't touch it. Right? It's interesting, isn't it, how that works? And you've, if I can, maybe taken the PQRS of all of that and said, well, this is the difference though between the aggressive nature. One is soft, one is in defense mode, one is genuinely aggressive just for the desire of killing. But anyway, we wanted to go into protection, didn't we, Naila?
Yeah, I was thinking because it's very interesting when we talk about animal kingdom, because I think that's the more studied as well, because they're living being, then we can see their reactions in real time. And I was talking to someone the other day that the snake patients that I have, they were the most lovely people. Like I couldn't find a bit of jealousy. Maybe it was hidden. I couldn't see that, but they were really, really wonderful people. And I know that because the remedy has worked. The remedy has worked beautifully on them. I was giving different remedy, very calm and content remedy before, and didn't do anything. And as soon as I gave the snake remedy, it worked beautifully on the pathology, on mental, emotional level, and the constant messaging stopped as well. And they were in the need for help because they felt that they were attacked. So that's what we need to see, that snakes are not ready to attack us all the time. There must be a reason for them to attack.
Yeah, the first survival method of a snake in homeopathy is deception. I have to deceive deceive you, no? And then I will understand your intention, that what you want to do with me.
Very clever, and very clever, eh? Very reptile, very clever.
This is like, I love these sentences, or this experience said in one sentence. The first survival mechanism of snake is deception. So we are not talking about snakes are jealous, they are hot, they are this, they are. It's deception. It has to be.
But you mentioned, Naila, jealousy. So jealousy means a lot of things. Because jealousy for you, for Atik, for Robbie, for me, is completely different, has a different meaning.
Especially for me.
Even more.
For me, yeah, definitely. Especially when it comes to lasagna, I have to say, okay?
Okay. So when we are teaching, we are always telling that remove your filter. And don't think that what your patient is thinking is that what you are thinking, because sometimes it's completely different. And never interpret the patient's language. Always ask. So many times when I'm doing a consultation and people are looking at me, and a very clever boy, and he looked at me and he told, but Vicky, why you are pretending that you are stupid? And I said, I'm sorry, but I have to pretend because I really have to understand you. And why I'm asking that, please explain me. It's not that you catch up that I'm stupid. I really want to enter into your mind to understand that how you are feeling when you are jealous. And what does it mean for you? Jealousy towards to love, jealousy towards to an object, or jealousy because you are not appreciated enough by others. Has a different meaning, but a different umbrella, jealousy.
So wonderfully put together. Thank you for this. And yes, we always have to ask. I remember I had a patient sitting here yesterday, and if I had not asked a sequel question, I had a totally different thing in my mind, what she was saying, and she explained it to me in a very different way. Like it was a total opposite of what I was thinking and what she was saying. So it's very, very important to just it's all right if we feel, because we are the unprejudiced observer, we don't know anything, we go with empty mind, empty head, and you are the one who is going to tell us what is it.
What I've loved about this conversation so far, which is purely obviously related to your work, is that we've seen that there are so many different approaches in homeopathy, different languages, for want of a better word, different adaptations of But how you are explaining it, I'm thinking purely, I'm putting myself in the shoes of a student. Well, technically we're students here now, learning from you. But
We are always
Always
but
students.
as for the students, certainly the ones who are still in the schools and studying, it's so important, isn't it, to get to understand not just let's go and find a rubric for my patient's illness, but to understand the patient. Who is that person sitting in front of me? How can I spin them around and look at them and observe them? And this is where the themes come in, and this is where the groups come in. You mentioned, Roberto, something so beautiful, that it may be a predator who may have, I'd forgotten what you mentioned specifically, it's a predator having lanthanide qualities or something along those lines. But and to understand then where to start, which is also takes you to a layered approach sometimes, because you just can't go in. If someone isn't a lanthanide, they may have the slight qualities of, right? Fascinating, isn't it? The 3 dimensions of a human being, and when you do that consultation and how to get to that theme. And I think you've made it very easy for people by going this thematic and group-wise approach, for students, certainly.
Yeah, another thing that we are often underlying is to understand what is behind the language of the patient. So an example that I'm always doing, because very often it happened to me too, but in general, the students are reading sentences in a book or symptoms in a book, and then they are stuck in that idea. So, for example, not more as an aggravation from consolation. So you ask to a patient, how do you like consolation? And the patient is telling, I like it very much. And you are thinking, okay, it's not more. Then you do the second question, who can console you? And the patient is telling, my wife or my husband, someone else, no one else. So because you need always to go a little bit further, a little bit deeper, because, for example, I place an addition in the repertory, consolation Amel by intimate friends, and I place not more, capital degree. Because the point is not that you have to understand that not more as an aggravation from consolation. You have to understand what is really the core of not more, that is, no one can enter inside me unless I trust that person. So it's not just a very superficial analysis or very superficial questions. And what we are doing in general in the teaching is to give a list of symptoms. So not more as consolation aggravate, sepia does not like to have children, these also stupid things, or ambra grisea cannot defecate in public. I don't know anyone that can defecate in public. So you have to understand which is the reason of that symptom and which is behind. And behind there is always a theme.
Yeah, so, why would you do that anyway? I mean, that's not, maybe they were, maybe the dog proved it.
Yeah. Well, this is a good symptom. This is a good symptom for a dog.
Yeah.
So I cannot defecate in public. For a vet is a marvelous symptom.
Imagine that, isn't it? What did you do during the weekend? Well, I went to the park and I defecated. Like, don't talk to me ever again. Go home. Actually, don't go home. Clean yourself and then go home.
No, sometimes, and what is staying in our mind are especially these stupid symptoms.
Yeah, because they are like that, right?
Yeah. Because so I am always asking everywhere I went to do a seminar, which is the most important symptom of ambra grisea? Cannot defecate in public. Or which is the most important symptom for aurum? Suicide.
Yeah.
How many persons you cured with aurum after suicide?
Well, I tell you one thing, if I see anyone defecating in public, I'll need aurum myself, so.
Now, this is very interesting what you have said, that we tend to make a picture in our mind And if someone doesn't fit in that picture, we tend not to give that remedy. That's the example that we were talking about before. And then when we started about talking again, Orem and the bridge and the suicide, but it's about what is going on in their mind. You can be in an Orem state, you can be an Orem without even thinking about the suicide, or even ambragresia. It's not defecating in public. It's something very deep and underlying that is behind it, that we need to find out. I just so am inspired and love when I get to talk to people like you who have spent their life teaching, learning homeopathy, and they teach it to each and every one of us through their work, through their books, through their ECAP GPS system, which is going to be available in Radar Opus very, very soon, everyone. So, okay, I had so many questions in my mind and they come and go, but maybe for our audience it will be, because this is going to be available, and this is what they're going to get their hand on. You have 7 ways of describing or using or intersecting a case, or what we can say.
7 levels.
7 levels, yeah. 7 levels you call it, because I see it in your book. You call it horizontal flow chart. It's environment, the ECAP, environment, kingdom, attitude, and period. And then comes the GPS, group, part, and substance. If you can explain to our audience how that came into being, and as you mentioned a little bit about it earlier as well, if you know the ECAP, you can find the remedy that you have not understood. But what is this ECAP and then GPS?
Me. So ECAP GPS is for us. It's a system that how the remedy build itself.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the way of every human being or every remedy in homeopathy, that remedies are not existing as individual ones. Remedies are existing in a coherent and multi-layer world, that we are existing also together with our homeopathic remedies. None of us are the same, but many of us have some same characteristic. For example, many of us living in Europe, others are living in another continent. We can say that this is a layer that holding us together, Europeans, or holding us together, and Americans, or Australians, or Asians, or whatever I'm telling. Many of us are quite impulsive, are quite aggressive, ready to act immediately. Do not hesitate. Wherever we are living, we are having this same attitude, that we are predators. And then the others are, okay, no, I'm withdrawing, I'm shut my mouth, I'm not entering into any discussion. Wherever we are living, we are having the same attitude, being a prey. And this is what the ECAP, the GPS system, is giving to homeopathy for every remedies, giving the similarities for the individual remedies, staying in a same level.
And then we choose these 7 levels, but this does not mean that you cannot use other levels. So, for example, sometimes we are using levels that are not included in the ECAP GPS. Sometimes we are thinking with the idea of the miasmatic grouping. Sometimes we are thinking related to the stage of the periodic table. If I'm thinking to a mineral remedy that has this tendency to cooperate and so on, I'm thinking to the stage 7 of the periodic table. It's just that we didn't have the strength, the time, the experience, and so on, to include also the stages. But for sure, we can place in stage 7 many remedies that are animal remedies, plant remedy, fungi, nosodes, sarcodes, or imponderables. not just the minerals. So it is just a partial way of seeing the patient. But if a patient is coming and giving very precise symptoms and characteristics for not more, we don't need to use the ECAP GPS. So if you know a remedy by heart, if you know that remedy in a very good way, you are not using the ECAP GPS. But the ECAP GPS can be useful, especially to find remedies or groups or subgroups that you are not knowing in a very good way. And it's easier because if you are thinking, okay, now I have the sensation that this is the language of the fish. And then you are thinking, okay, I don't know any fish. And you are trying to understand if it's a language that is a little bit more specific and perhaps is a solitary fish, or perhaps is a tropical fish, or perhaps is a predator or a migratory. So the subgroups has different characteristics. And so you are thinking, okay, so this is the language of migratory fish. Okay, which kind of fish may I choose? And you will see which are the remedies that are in that subgroup. But this is one way of seeing the patient. Everyone has his own way and is good. I'm always telling about the case of a patient, and I will cut a long story short, a patient that went to 4 different homeopaths in the past. And these 4 different homeopaths that were 4 masters from different countries, not just in Europe, and they gave 4 different remedies. And the patient never took the remedy because she said, how possible is that 4 very important homeopaths are giving me 4 different remedies? And so she said, I will never take homeopathic remedies. Until one day, a very good friend of her, that was my patient, pushed her to come to me. And at the end of the consultation, I told, okay, I know that you didn't take any remedies from the other homeopaths, and I didn't want to know which remedy were prescribed. And I told her, okay, my idea is that you have to take this remedy. And she looked at me and she said, okay, I will take it. And I was astonished, also because I was quite younger, and I said, okay, but why you are accepting my remedy when you didn't accept remedies from very important homeopaths? And she looked at me and she said, I will take this remedy because the remedy that you prescribed me was the same remedy that Ortega gave me. Wow. And the way I'm working is very different from the way Ortega was working. And so for this reason, she decided to take the remedy. But the remedy was wrong.
Oh, you should have left that bit out.
No. So I gave her Mercurius, but she didn't react to Mercurius, and then she reacted very well on Mercurius iodatus flavus. So I was close.
Very close.
But anyhow, you see, you can reach the right remedy using different ways. So we are trying to make it easier.
But for me, this also explains, like, for example, Mercurius given, but then a salt of Mercurius was given, and that has helped. So we sometimes have to also acknowledge our work that we are putting through. If we are coming up with a remedy, maybe try to change the potency, maybe try to see the salt, maybe try to see something else before changing the remedy, because once we have changed the remedy, we are not going to come back to it.
I'm usually using at least 3 different potencies before changing the remedy.
Oh, thank you for saying that.
Because I'm always telling to our students that our consultation is ending when I'm quite sure that the remedy I'm prescribing is the right remedy. Then I'm doing a lot of mistakes, but in that moment, I'm thinking that this is the right remedy. And we are always leaving 3 hours for every first consultation. Sometimes we are prescribing the remedy after 20 minutes, sometimes after 1 hour, and sometimes after 3 hours, we are still struggling, not knowing what to give. But when we give a remedy, we want to defend our prescription. And so we are using a potency, it's not working, and we are changing the potency, give at least 3 different potencies. And we are also working, changing the number of drops, because we are thinking that also the quantity is very important in homeopathy and not just the potency.
I have a very interesting question. I'm sorry to interrupt, but as you have such a vast experience, I would like to know which remedies are most difficult to prescribe.
The remedies that you don't know.
No,
that's a good answer.
That's such a wonderful answer. But yeah, this explains it. Now, ECAP GPS, even if you don't use it to prescribe for your patient, you can use it to learn the new remedies.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is not just a tool to prescribe, it's a tool to study too. Because you can say, okay, I will study all the plant preys, or I will study all the mineral predator, or all the parasite, or all the remedies coming from the underground environment. For example, we placed rodents in underground, we placed snakes, and we placed scorpions. So because we believe that 3 different groups has some similarities. Then, of course, a rat is different from a scorpion, but they have a common language. So this way you can study and you can understand better some things. Try at least to understand.
But again, which was the most difficult remedy for you to prescribe from your knowledge? From the patients that you have seen?
This is a question that I don't know. May I answer in the next podcast?
Yes, you can.
Yeah. Or the webinar that we're going to ask you to do for us for homeopathy in practice. Separate conversation. Hey, I was just thinking, you have a beautiful painting at the back. I've been quite sort of attracted to it. And those are the rays of the sun. Hello, sun. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
yeah, it's the ray of the moon.
Even
the ray of the moon, and is a mountain, and the sea. Yeah.
So this is a very apt time to say that, and I know we spoke about this before, but for the 65,000 listeners, hey, how's that for a plug, isn't it? Hey, in all these countries who listen to the Homeopathy Health Show, from myself and Naila, of course. Actually, this time, Naila, you say it.
I love it when you say it, because you say it in such a beautiful voice, and I don't want to do it. I love it when you do it, please.
So just like that painting behind you, which has the rays of the moon, and it's shining against the hilltops and bringing light to different aspects and different terrain that's, on the bank of that hilltop. We wanted to show you our utmost respect and honor, because both of you, it's so evident talking to you and seeing you. And of course, we met a few weeks back, should I say, at the gala event as well, in person, that your passion and your love for homeopathy and the service to humanity is inspiring. And, we love you for that, because you're bringing a new perspective and angle, and you work so hard, and we can see that. So, the greatest respect, kudos to you both for everything that you do. God bless you with long, healthy lives, and may you continue to help and inspire thousands upon thousands of homeopaths, just like the rays of the moon. When it hits one spot, it saturates and it just expands and expands, doesn't it? And may that continue with the work that you do. Thank you for everything that you've done, from Naila and from myself.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot to you. Thanks a lot to all the people that will listen the podcast and we hope to meet you in the future in person somewhere and shake hands.
Without
Without
noise.
the noise.
Without the noise.
Where we can
Somewhere
actually
we can talk.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
That's why I said he does it so well, like paying tribute and saying thank you in such a beautiful way. I can never do that. I say it in my heart. I don't have the words that he has. So beautifully said. And yes, thank you for everything that you do and bringing your teaching to us homeopaths so that we can use it. It becomes available. Before we go, I would love to ask you, for homeopaths practicing today, what would you like to give them as a message that we students, homeopaths, and practitioners with experience, what is the source of inner peace as a homeopath?
Okay, that's a really good question. I have to say, even as a co-host, that got me. That one got me.
So I speak about myself because I cannot enter into the emotions of Robbie. For me, homeopathy is without judgment. So what I learned, and I really thanks for homeopathy that it taught me that seeing the world and seeing everyone without judgment and without placing something that is coming from somewhere that we learned or we were taught, really seeing that the person who is sitting or standing in yourself in a nude way, and to get rid of all these characteristics that someone or something put on them, because it's a mask, it's not the real person. And this is seeing without judgment, homeopathy taught me. And I think that when we are seeing really the beauty of every person, because I'm seeing everyone as a beautiful one. Also, if we are telling, oh, this remedy, I never want to have in my office anymore. I want to see them because I learn from everyone, every patient. And for me, every remedy is really, because everyone has a beauty inside. And this is this homeopathy that no judgment, see the beauty, see the, how to say, the challenge, but also the now I forgot the word that I wanted to say, the potential. This is what I search for. So to see the potential and to see that that way of expression that patients are giving to us, let's say they speak, help me, that you give your help, and you really understand that now someone is giving you a huge trust that you cannot betray. And when you are not betraying your patient, you cannot betray yourself. And this is a kind of serenity and peace that homeopathy gave me.
So beautifully said.
So I'm so proud that I married a so deep and intelligent woman. But I am the brick worker of the couple. So she's the intelligent one, I'm the brick worker. So my message will be much more basic. But I think that it's very important because it's coming from what I have seen in 40 years experience of homeopathy, in what I'm seeing through the treatments of many doctors that are prescribing homeopathic remedies. So homeopathy is not allopathy. Homeopathy has a different approach. And I would like that all the homeopaths will never forget two important words in homeopathy that are hierarchy and totality. So this is, according with my experience, the most important words never to forget in homeopathy. Because otherwise we are becoming medical doctors prescribing homeopathic remedies instead of allopathic drugs. And homeopathy is something different. Homeopathy is seeing a patient as a system, as a totality, and thinking what is really important in that patient, in that language, in that remedy, and so on.
Wonderful.
Wow.
So
So
beautifully
such
said.
wise advice. Like it has to be ingrained in everyone's mind. Like I can see how you both are working together, because there are again two energies meeting together, which are going to bring out masterpieces. So well done that. Thank you.
Hey, I have a question.
Yeah.
What are your there's a reason for this. What are your star signs?
What are you?
Star signs.
So my zodiac sign is Gemini.
And mine is Cancer.
Okay. Do they follow one another?
Yes.
Interesting. Because Colin Griffiths recently did a masterclass for us, and he touched upon zodiac signs, and how we're in the age of Aquarius now, from the Piscean age, which was 2,000 years. And anyway, just something interesting. Ladies and gentlemen, absolutely not related to the Homeopathy Health Show whatsoever, but hey, Mamma Mia.
Mamma mia, mamma mia.
Believe us or not, we are at the end of our two-part episode.
2 parts we've done.
We
Brilliant.
have done 2 parts today. It was amazing. It was brilliant, because it's so inspiring to see teachers like you who have given decades to homeopathy. It means homeopathy has shaped you. Homeopathy, you have lived homeopathy, you have served homeopathy, you have done everything homeopathy, and this shows that it works for people who think that homeopathy is this or that. Like, come on, these people are doing it for decades. They must have seen something that they're still doing, and they're still preaching it, and they're still teaching it. Homeopathy is everything. I just live homeopathy every day as well. Thank you for joining us. It was a pleasure to meet you, and we'll read the books. Thank you for them. We always love books from authors that they have given themselves to us. We cherish them. Thank you very much.
And we must mention here that the books were personally brought to us in April of this year at the gala event, and Roberto and Victoria personally handed them to myself and Nyla. So that was extra special. Actually, thank you so much for actually doing that in itself.
You are welcome, and thank you for inviting us. It was really a pleasure to meet you today, but also to meet you in person in London.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Really, it was really our pleasure to be with you, to be with your audience, to be all together with lovely homeopaths all around the world. And keep up, and let's meet and let's share ideas, because this is how we can bring the word forward.
Absolutely. Thank you, everyone, for joining in the conversation today.
Thank you so much.
Mamma mia, ciao.
Mamma mia. I do hope you've enjoyed this week's episode of the Homeopathy Health Show. Tune in every week for inspiring conversations, bringing you all things health and well-being to your radio and podcast apps.
The more exposure the Homeopathy Health Show receives, the better for homeopathy around the world.
And please do support the show by clicking follow on our socials.
You can find us at www.homeopathyinpractice.co.uk and on Facebook and Instagram at Homeopathy in Practice. Do give us a follow on there. Let's promote the voice of homeopathy around the world together. Until next time, stay safe and take care.